Sorry about that. We're using Screenomatic to record. So we're actually on part two of my YouTube upload. Anyway, we'll continue on the procedures and evaluation slides. So basically, there's two parts of procedures and evaluating those procedures, and that was to hire the new employee and then to train them were my two key aspects of the whole program. And we did our mailers, we did our gift mailers, we did our cards, we did me reaching out to everybody, and we're going to continue to do that. But the key is to get that marketing person trained, which we've done, have them making calls, and have me monitoring that person making those calls. Hiring process was interesting. Like I've said in previous slides, a lot of good candidates. We used a temp agency to actually do the hiring. That way, if after we hired somebody we didn't like in a few weeks, it was a very easy process to make a separation and bring in a new marketing person instead of having to go through all the normal steps of hiring. After interviewing 6 or 8 people, we found Susan, got Susan trained. So far, she's been great at what we're doing. The training process went really easy. She's making calls. She's helped close the deal on Reliable Environmental. She's has no problem following the scripts that we put together. Isn't afraid to talk to people and isn't afraid to be told no. You got to have all that for this to work. And luckily, she's got that. Moving on, the discovery. I discovered a lot during this presentation. One thing is some of the old warm leads that I used to have when we went back and went through our list of potential clients that were in our database, we learned that some of them were no good anymore. The other thing we learned is that some old clients just completely forgot we existed. They might have had like a management change, key person change, project manager change, and because of that change, new person comes in, wants to give one of their buddies a try, and they just stick with it. That's why you got to stay in constant contact and keep rapport with your clients. If you get a sniff that something's going sour, you might have a chance to go in and fix it. If you did what I did the last 2 years and you don't keep up with that stuff, then you just lose them and you had no clue. It's just the business isn't there anymore. We also learn some old clients need to be contacts or contacted, and they'll come back. And like I said, we did that with the Reliable Environmental since the capstone started. My brother and I started it. Susan finished the deal. In the last few weeks, they spent several $1,000s with my company, all by just getting on the phone, sending out new prices, telling them whatever their issue was in the past, figuring out what it was, and seeing if we can come up with a resolution to fix it. And in their case, we were able to do that. But what it took was getting on the phone and reaching out to them, documenting what was said so we could follow up with it, looking at their old price sheets, getting the new price sheets, getting them updated, contact information, shipping information, certifications, etc., getting them on our workman comp. We had to do all that. And, with them, the bottom line is they didn't want to pay for shipping. Well, we worked out a deal with them where, any package they send me with over $100 worth of samples, we're going to go ahead and pick up the shipping cost. It's so minimal when you think about the thousands and thousands of dollars they may spend with me versus the $20 or $30 to overnight the package to my company. So that's the key, being able to make those decisions. I also found out that finding the perfect hire is harder than you'd think. And it was harder than I expected. I had a lot of really good talkers. But at the end of the day, some of the talkers pushed the boundaries. Some of them, in one case with this lady, she would have been great, but she couldn't remember what she said 2 sentences prior. And that's not going to work with somebody that's following up with people week after week, making the phone calls. I mean, heck, she might dial the wrong number, so that didn't work out. I also learned there's no such thing as this perfect marketer. I knew that from the past, and you got to keep that in mind going forward. Um, but so far, we're pretty happy with where we're at, and I think we're going to be able to really do well with Susan. I learned that once you're hiring them, the training is much easier than I remembered. Maybe it's because I've done it for so many years. Maybe it's because this person, Susan, just knows how to do things right. Knows how to market, had the experience, wasn't afraid to pick up the phone. I don't know, but from what I'd remembered, what I've learned now, it was easier to go through the training process than it has been in the past. Now it's been 2.5 years since I've had a marketing person in my office. I tried a college student briefly about a year and a half ago, and it just didn't work out. Let him go pretty quickly. Um, Temp agencies aren't all they are to cracked up. They're not all they are cracked up to be. They sent some really bad leads. They sent some really good leads. They misled some of the people that they sent to me thinking they were going to work for me, so we had to deal with that. At the end of the day, we got a good agreement worked out, and I think this person's going to be really happy with us. We'll be really happy with them. After 90 days, if we like them, we can hire them on full time. Not, we can keep on paying them through the temp agency. Regardless, I think it's a good arrangement. Discovery Part 3. Part of the deal was we were going to put together holiday cards and send them out to all of our clients, past, present, and hopefully future. Getting the right holiday card to accommodate everybody. I hope we did it. We tried really hard, and hey, Vistaprint's great. That's what I can say. Ordering gifts for the clients was a breeze and enjoyable. I enjoy picking out the gifts for my best clients. I really did. It's a time of the year where you can be thoughtful and say, hey, thanks for what you've done for us. The cost of stuff now is so easily kept under budget when you can get on Amazon, when you can go with your credit card companies and go into their gift section, and then you get a bunch of different mailers and of holiday gifts as a business in the mail as well. Everybody's competing with everybody. And because of that, it keeps the costs on things down, which makes it really affordable to send out 8 or 10 gifts to the best clients in my office. The other thing I learned and thought was going to be harder than it was that doing mail merges, send out price sheets, etc., is easier than it was 3 years ago. Instead of it being harder, it was easier, which is great. I'm really happy about that. We sent out a mail merge. It went successful. I think we hit 12 or 1,300 people with it. It was effective. It was fast. We got a lot of responses saying, hey, MSC, I didn't realize you did this sort of test. It was that easy. So the key now, and what I'm going to have Susan do, is follow up with each one of those people that did respond to us and just say, hey, what can we do to get that business you said you might want to do with us? So far, so good. Discovery Part 4. Implementing the marketing plan was enjoyable. I really loved, this is how you know you love what you do. I love sitting down with Susan, teaching her the stuff, sitting down with my office manager, Raquel, picking out cards, picking out mail merge stuff, putting together the budget on what we wanted to spend, etc. As I thought, I think that Susan will be able to be making calls here on her own shortly. I mean, she was able to follow up on her own already. It's just, going through the steps to send out the documents as part of the database management system that we have for the contacts. Just remembering those steps is what we're still having to learn. As far as making the calls, no problem. Following the script, no problem. I think we really got a winner. As I said, since we implemented the marketing person just a few weeks ago, business has picked up. We got reliable in the books. We've got a lot of other hot leads that are saying, yeah, we'll send you business when we get it. And that's all very promising. It just tells you can't ever stop. Suggestions that I have for my business to solve the problem we had was take my time in hiring somebody to keep a competitive advantage. Don't hire the first person that comes in. Stick with the plan that I have. Don't vary from it. Put together the plan, work on it. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. At one point when I was going through the hiring process, I wasn't sure if I was ever going to find that right person. The next day she walked in my door. Be persistent. With my marketing people, you gotta be persistent. When you tell somebody you're going to call them back, call them back. If they don't pick up, leave a message. If they don't have a messaging box, shoot them an email saying, hey, just thinking about you. Don't lose thought of my end game. Don't lose eye on it. My end game is to get more clients, build the business back up, make more money. That's what every business's goal is, to be as profitable as possible by being the best that you can be, but also by being ethical, taking care of the people that take care of you. Here's, in conclusion, I'm Eric Widmeyer, McCall and Sparrow. We developed a marketing plan to get telemarketers back in place, as well as getting some mail merges out, just basically to build up business from where it was to where we want to be again after a long pause in marketing. It was a great project. I was really happy to do it. Came at a perfect time. Great experience. And as you can see, here's some of the work side. It will go to the second page. Thank you. And like I said, it was a pleasure.